Hello, everyone. Let us know if you can hear us, if the connection is good.
Hello, I can hear you.
Hey, me too.
Okay, seems like everything is good and we can start. Everyone, welcome to our second webinar. The topic of this webinar has been highly requested, so I'm happy to announce that today we will be learning how to build and personalize your game shop to drive more revenue. This webinar is brought to you by Balancy, a platform to scale your LiveOps and grow LTV. And today our team, Pavel, the CEO, and Mike, our LiveOps expert, will share their knowledge and practical skills with you. Briefly about the agenda. I hope you can see my presentation now. Let me know if not. So in the theory part, we will walk you through the essentials of game shop structure, design elements to boost conversions, and mention some most common segmentation strategies for personalization. Next, we will get our hands kind of dirty and show in practice how to build such a flexible and personalized shop in Balancy. Mike will focus on the role of a product manager and show how to use Balance's interface. And in the last 10 minutes of the webinar, Pavel will show the programmer side, the code, the Unity project. So if you're interested in this programming stuff, watch until the end. So let's not wait any longer. I'm excited to hand over the microphone to Mike. Mike, over to you.
Hello, everybody. Let's start with game shop structures. As games became more complex, so do their in-game shops. The challenge is to help players navigate a potentially vast array of items without feeling overwhelmed. And there are three key questions to discuss. Shop navigation, slot sizes, and different shop layouts. Let's start from navigation. We can say about three standard navigational structures. Tabs, general lists with paginators, and bookmarked sections. Tabs offer a segmented view, allowing players to focus on one category at a time. This could be seen on top left screenshot as example. General lists coupled with paginators or without them provide a linear browsing experience. It could be seen on top right screenshot. Bookmarks enable quick jumps to specific areas of the list, enhancing the user experience by combining the feel of a general list with convenience of tabs. This approach could be seen on bottom screenshot. And in Balancy, we use tabs, but on the client side, it is possible to visualize everything in any way of your choice. Let's see how it looks like. Let me share my screen. Please tell me if you see it.
Not yet, Juliet. Can you please switch the screen?
Yeah, thank you very much. So on Balancy platform, there is a section in the navigation panel for Game Store. And inside of it, you can create a shop, which can be divided into different sections as tabs. And each section can contain slots with different content. So for example, in this shop for the demo, We have a section for some specials that contain some no ads pack, for example, some free offer, some items that you can get for watching ads, and welcome pack, for example. But you can create the section for bundles only, for gold coin packs only, and for games packs only. And when this structure will be sent to the game client, the client is responsible to visualize it, and it can be visualized in all three ways. You can build the general list of all the slots from all sections. You can divide the list into the sections using this information from Balancy and show to the player the content only from one current section, or use these section labels as bookmarks. Let's get back to the presentation. And let's talk about sizes of these slots. It's important for the shops to allow displaying items of various sizes. Usually they operate with slots which items occupy. A simple single slot item, as you can see on the left, more attractive double slot item, as you can see on the right, and a bundle that could take even 4 slots, as you can see in the middle, etc., etc. The layout should allow combining slots in rows and columns, which can be seen on the left of the screenshot as well. In Balancy, it's possible to create additional data for slots to describe their attributes that may be different for different games. Let's see how it could be done in Balancy. Here we have a data structure page where you can create your custom templates for data. And in this particular case, I will show you as this template, my custom slot, is created as an inheritance to default store slot for the single purpose to add UA data that can be customized for a particular game. This template UI data contains various assets. Asset for the client to display, sprite for background, sprite for button, the whole list of another components, for example, some information about badge. And this structure can be passed over to the client for some additional manipulations with the slots. So if we will go back to the store, we will see that when creating new slots, we can choose not only basic type, but this custom slot. And the extra params will be available as it's shown here. For example, I will open these slot settings, and in UI data, we can assign different configs for this particular slot. For example, it can use big add slots or small default slots. These configurations will describe the size of the slot or row inside the store page, or column, or any other information that you can describe here as this additional parameter. And it's up to the client to use this information and to display all these slots properly. Now let's get back to the presentation, and we will talk about different shop layouts. As an example, I will talk about mini shop and full layout for the shop. The implementation of mini and full versions of the in-game shops tailored to the player's status and progression can significantly enhance the shopping experience. For example, for new players and non-payers, simplified, educational, and enticing mini shop can help ease them into the whole world of in-game purchases. The mini shop should be simple and easy to navigate for newcomers. As you can see on the left part of the screen, these simple shops have much less slots and items and only one page. This approach can guide players through the basics of in-game purchasing without overwhelming them with information. For players who have made a purchase, a more personalized and expansive full shop can encourage continued engagement and spending. Once a player makes their first purchase, the shop can expand to include a wider range of items, including premium or some exclusive content. You can see it on the right side of the screen. And in Balancy, it is possible to create different shop layouts using conditions. Let's get back to the platform, and I will show you how to create different layouts. For example, let's treat this shop as a full version of the shop. But for those who are new players, newcomers, and they will see the shop for the first time, let's create the specific version. Let's say it will be called as how we'll call it, for example, like, okay, like this. And we will add custom slots just to show them a bit of everything. Let's put here this no ad spec. Let's put here a small pack of games. Let's put here a small pack of gold, and let's allow them to have this gold for example, for watching ads. But we want this section to be seen only by new players or non-payers. And here comes conditions. For example, let's set up this page to be seen only for example, just a second, for non-payers. And that means that these four must be seen for not non-pairs. And the same for the rest. Not in segment, non-pair. If we will apply these conditions to all tabs, like doing once again, not in segment, non-pair, we will have this configuration working based on this condition. So when the player is in segment of non-pair, they will see only this page with this simple version of the shop. And when they have made at least one payment, this one will be hidden and they will see these four tabs that represent the full version of the shop. Let's get back to the presentation. Thank you. And let's talk about the ways to improve conversions in the shop. Some design elements to boost conversions. For example, we strongly recommend to apply badges. Badges on store slots can tell some additional information about the item. It can be badge new for new item that just being unlocked, or best value, for example, or recommended, most popular. You can see the examples on the screen. You can combine items into bundles, which is a strategy with deep roots in both traditional and digital commerce. Bundles are collections of items sold together at a discount rate. The philosophy behind the bundles is grounded in the psychological appeal of getting more for less and the convenience of one-stop shopping. You can give players free items, and by offering free items such as daily gifts or rewarding for watching videos is a powerful strategy. These items cost players either nothing or just a bit of their time, like watching 30 seconds ad. This tactic not only encourages regular engagement with the shop, but also fosters goodwill among players. It's recommended to effectively integrate free gifts into your shop pricing strategy. Also, don't forget about bonuses. You can give many different bonuses for players being active in the shop, but for some no-brainer example, there could be free first purchase bonus for those who decided to buy some item for the first time. You can give them additional amount of resource or some additional item. Now let's go to the platform and see how we can create these additional things. For example, badges. We can go to settings for a particular slot, and in the drop-down type, we can choose different pre-built badges. For example, if I say popular, we will see the label popular on the slot. if I can change it, for example, for limited, it will mean that this item is on limited sale and the player will see this badge. Bundles. Here you can see the example of a bundle, which will give players 5 different items with different amounts for the price of only $9.99. How we use bundles. First of all, bundles shall be created on the page when we create store items to be displayed in the shop slot. And here we define not only simple packs of items, for example, but as well the item that contains the whole list. And here you can easily put any additional item in the bundle, setting its amount, and combine bundles from the items you defined for your game in literally a few clicks. After that, we go to the game shop and we can create new slot, and here we can select the bundle from the list, for example, and we will see here its content. So the player will get its content at some discounted price. The next thing is giving items for free. And here, how is it made? We can combine it with the label free, but the whole thing has happened in store item. So let's go and see the store item. Oops.
Yeah, Michael, you can click on the free button here from this page.
Click. Yep. For example, yes, this, we have many ways to get to the point where we want. Here, we control price for the store item. And for example, when we are choosing the real platform, product on the platform, we can not only choose the price point, but also select the free, and this will mean that this item will go for free. And if we would like to offer this item for watching ads, again, we can select this type of price here as ads, and we can set up the amount of ads that player have to watch before getting this item. And the last is those bonuses. So, for example, if I want to offer, let's say, games, here, as you can see, first purchase bonus has a multiplier of 2. That means that when buying this item, player will actually get not 1,200, but 2,400. And this is how we set it up. We have the parameter logic, where you can define some additional behavior for this slot. It can be locked by cooldown, for example, 1 hour, or it can be available only like 1 item per some period, or you can set up the multiplier for first purchase bonus. For example, we set it into 2, and when players will buy it, they will get twice amount of this item. Let's get back to the presentation. And the last point that I would like to talk about is some segmentation strategies. The simplest one is that we can use different sorting for the content of each page or the whole list. Sorting can be done in basically two ways, from low to high prices, which is primarily working to low spenders or casual buyers. So they will see cheap items first. Conversely, you can sort items from high to low prices, which will target high spenders. So they will see the most expensive items first. And there could be a more sophisticated approach, which involves some segmentation and dynamic changes to the layout. For example, you can check if players are low spenders or high spenders and adopt sorting basing on this criteria. If the players are in segment that we are attributing to low spenders, they will see sorting from low to high and vice versa. This thing can be achieved by manually sorting items in the Balancy. Let's see how it can be done. Let's go to the platform, and if you can see here, I can easily drag and drop items, changing their order. And on the client, items will be sent in this order. So on the clients, only thing that shall be done is just to display them in the same order that they are being sent. And using these conditions, you can create two different tabs with different sorting. For example, this one will be from low to high, and this one will be the opposite. This one will be from high to low, this way. And you can apply the same conditions. If these players are in segment, like let's say killer whale, they will see sorting from high to low. And this tab will be seen for all the rest, for example. The same way as I did it before, but for whales. So if the players are not whales, they will see from low to high. Let's go back to the presentation and talk about even more personalized experience. Personalization becomes a more and more critical strategy in modern in-game shops, as it enhances player experience by tailoring the shop to their specific needs and preferences, and allows to work with players' satisfaction and increase revenue. By segmenting the audience, understanding their specific needs, and tailoring the shop experience to these needs, developers can create a more engaging and user-friendly shopping environment. You can adjust the shop layout to highlight items and offers relevant to each player segment, or even individual players. As you can see in Fluorescence game from Game Garden, which is one of our happy clients. And this can show you that sometimes it could be better to show less content to some segments. You can showcase content that resonates with specific interests and gameplay style of each segments. Tailor offers based on segment needs, such as special starter packs for new players or exclusive high-tier items for game veterans. Other offer dynamic pricing and deals based on a player purchasing history and engagement level. For instance, special discounts for players who haven't made a purchase recently. In the case of the game Fluorescence, which I mentioned before, after implementing personalized offerings, the amount of purchases increased by 20%. Thank you guys for such an interesting positive use case. How it was achieved. Take a look at the screenshot on the left bottom corner. You can see quite a few slots, but these slots are highly personalized. When the player gets to the shop, they are being segmented using those conditions based on their needs. In this case, on this screenshot, the player has deficit of some resources that are displayed here, and the shop offers them to replenish these particular resources. They are in deficit for them. If, for example, I, playing this game, will have a deficit in another type of resource, I will see different content on this page. I will see those resources that I have in deficit. I think this is it for now. Let's get to the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, for a very insightful presentation. That was awesome.
Thank you, guys.
And during your speech, there were quite a few questions. We will quickly run through all of them. Just quick question, quick answer. We have around like 5 minutes Q&A session. After that, we will return to the presentation and we will see how the programmer side of things looks like. So Pavel will show us like very, very interesting stuff here today. So the first question is about full shop layout. So Mike, do you recommend to show full shop for return payers by default? And for me personally, in this question, it was not very clear who are return payers. Like, are those people that reinstall the app, or they just returned after a certain period of time? But maybe for you, it's clear.
Yeah, I understand it like repetitive buyers. So they are making not only one single purchase in the game and forget about it, but they are regularly visiting the shop and they are constantly buying something. So I would recommend here to go even deeper in personalization. And since you have long history of purchases for these players, you can see what they buy more frequently, for example. And you can, this way you could even predict with some accuracy that they have come for a particular item. If they were buying this item like 5 times before. So you can change layout for their personal needs in this case.
Okay, So the next question is, we're currently working on an Auto Battler idle mobile game. About the price for starter packs, how should it be decided? Will it depend on the genre of the game or maybe some other conditions? How will we know what price point to start with? And this is actually like a question that so many developers are interested in. So Mike, can you help us?
Yeah, I would start from defining your game balance in a way that any item has its price in hard currency, and because hard currency has its price in real money, you can actually translate the price in real money to the each item in the end. So when you are creating these starter packs or any other bundle in the game, you can actually calculate the value in real money or in hard currency. It depends on which currency you will use to sell these bundles for. And basing on this calculated value, you can decide what discount you can allow yourself to offer players. For example, if your calculated price for the whole bundle is $10, then you can decide what discount you can offer. If you are good with discounting it like 50%, you will just offer it not for 10, but for $5. But even more sophisticated way would be using A/B testing and offer these starter packs to different segments, different groups during A/B test using different prices. So you'll be able to find this perfect match for different segments. Some segments may be good with buying for $10 without any discount, but for some other segments would be better to offer some discount. So please, in my opinion, it's better to calculate the actual value based on your game balance, then discuss and decide on which discounts you are good to offer, and go even further and use A/B testing to segment the whole thing even deeper. That's my answer.
A question from me. Would it be a good strategy to have a look at the competitor game or a game with similar target audience and see how much they charge for the starter pack?
Usually it depends on the target audience. They might know something about their target audience that you wouldn't be able to understand. And if you just copy their behavior, you might probably not approach the same goal. But what you could do, try to deconstruct your competitor just to figure out how do they value their individual items. And you could do reverse engineering, trying to reconstruct their in-game balance just to understand how big their discounts are in this particular case, for example. This is always a good exercise to deconstruct the competitors.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you, Mike. So the next two questions are actually about the Balancy admin panel. So when you were showing offers and different labels, like popular, best, limited, there was a question whether you can show two labels at the same time, two types of labels, because in some of offers of this developer that asked this question, they can use 2 or 3 types. So They wanted to know if it's possible in Balancy.
Yes, it is possible if you will create your own template for the game slot. It will just inherit our basic store slot, and you can add as many additional badges as you want there. You will have just a list of these parameters, and you can choose. I can even create it for you in demonstration purposes. If
Actually, I'm going to show it during my
okay, right.
presentation.
So yeah, Pavel will show it. Yes, the short answer is yes. Everything is possible.
Mm-hmm. So the next question is from Irina. Do you have any limitations on the set of resources for a specific product or offer? Can this rule be specified somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
I just need to clarify, maybe by the limitations, they meant something like you can purchase it only once, or maybe you can purchase it once per week. Maybe that was about limitation.
Maybe, but it sounds like limitation on the set of resources for a specific product offer. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, it would be better to have some.
I can give a general response to that. So if we talk about limitations, such as like, is this purchase available only once? Like, for example, no ads. You can purchase it only once. Yes, you can do it using conditions. But if you were talking about limitations on the items which are inside, you might want to use our visual scripting for that. We have a property called dynamic reward for store items. So instead of specifying specific amount of rewards which you want to give to players, you can calculate them at runtime. So depending on some other user properties player have, they will get different rewards. A good example is what Clash of Clans does. They have, I think, 3 slots for gold, which fulfills your storage by 10%, by 50%, and fulfill it completely, basically. So depending on your storage size, the amount of resources you currently have, all those 3 values might have different result, basically, and the price will be different, of course. So that is possible using visual scripting. And if you want to limit it in because of some additional conditions, yeah, you can also use that logic in visual scripting.
Thanks, Pavel. And we will wrap up this quick Q&A session with the last question, a very nice question actually from Nikolai, and it's addressed personally to Mike. Mike, what is your personal top 3 mid-core games based on the level of LiveOps?
Oh, I would say it AFK Arena, Raid, Shadow Legends, and the top one is Hero Wars, which I was lucky to work on and build at LiveOps by myself.
Yeah, thank you. So now we can move on to the next part. Pavel, please welcome to the stage.
Yes, I'm going to share my whole screen because I will be switching between different tabs.
Yeah, so can I add it to the stage?
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
So I have made a demo for myself. I'm going to use this one. I also have a Unity project, which you might have seen so many times. It's our open source project, which is available now where GitHub. And I have made a super simple code snippet. I will write it for you actually at runtime. So let's say we have this shop, and this shop has several pages and slots. So how do you get access to all this data as a programmer? Please don't be scared. Yes, this topic is more about engineering part, but even if you are not an engineer, you will be able to see that it's super easy to get access to all the data, to manipulate it, to basically to do integration with Balancy. So if anybody tell you that it's super complicated, just don't trust them. Just show them this video. So to get access to the shop, you just type Balancy, LiveOps, store, and default store. Make sure to invoke this code after Balancy initialization is completed. And at that point, here you will get accurate store data, basically. Now in the store, what we can access? We can access active pages. This is a list of pages which will be available for this specific player. And this list is updated at runtime. So let's say if you set a condition here, as Michael was showing you, to show something, a specific page for a specific segment of customers. And if I'm not in that segment, I will get 3 pages instead of 4. But if once I get inside of this condition, I will start getting 4 pages. So you don't need to do any additional logic. You just invoke all our methods using our SDK, and you will get accurate access, basically. So what usually our developers do, they just loop through all those active pages just to get the link to each of the page. And inside of the page, they also have a lot of parameters. The name, it's a localized string. It's exactly the same name which you used in the header of the page. And active slots. This is what you're going to use in most cases. You can also subscribe to this event, which will trigger if something got changed inside of this specific page. For example, if you purchased a slot which had a limit to be available only once, let's say, then it will disappear. We'll inform you that something got changed. So you need to basically refresh your page and rebuild UI, basically in Unity. So now we're going to do the same for the slots. So I just want to run through all the active slots. And let's take a look what slot each slot has. The slot has a link to the store item. It's actually the record here. So I will get access to this content. I'll get access to the price, this reward, the name, sprite, everything. So let me show you. If I type get store item, now I can get the name, I can get the price, I can get reward, I can get sprite, and there are some additional methods just for your convenience, just to check if this item is free, if it has dynamic reward. It's connected to the example I was giving earlier about dynamic calculation using visual scripting. If it's about ad watching, if it's like in-app and so on. And if you're using our inventory, you could also use such method as is enough resources. So Balancy will check in the inventory if the price is in soft currency. So let's say you're selling something for coins, and we'll check if you have enough coins in this inventory and just let you know. If you decide to purchase it, like slot, for example, player clicks on the buy button. So what should you do? So you just type Balancy, LiveOps, store, purchase, store item, and just pass that store item. And then you need to get response, basically, because the method is asynchronous. So now, once the purchase is completed, you can check if it was successful or not. The best part of this line is that it does everything on your behalf. First of all, it checks on which platform it runs. Is it Apple or Google? Then we invoke all the payment methods. So user will see this confirmation window where he needs to double click to confirm that he wants to make this purchase. Once the purchase is complete on the Google side, we get payment information, including receipt. We send this receipt to our backend, on the Balancy backend, and do validation, not letting cheaters to get free rewards, basically. And after validation is complete, then we invoke this callback, letting you know about the status of this purchase. So now you can check if the purchase was successful or not. Let's say if it was successful, now you can check what was actually purchased. Maybe in case you forgot or something like that. You can get access to the receipt, product ID, the product itself, maybe some additional data. In the data, you'll get a list of items which were purchased, the status, the time, the price in Balancy, price in USD. Price in USD, by the way, will be calculated using the current exchange rate on our backend. So, for example, if you're buying in dirhams in Abu Dhabi, for example, will automatically convert it to US dollars and let you know what he actually paid in US dollars for you, and so on. If, let's say, it didn't work for some reason, so the success is false, now you can get access to the error. You can read the message, what exactly went wrong. You can get a code, error code, and just inform player that maybe he canceled the purchase, or maybe something went wrong. Maybe he doesn't have enough money on the card, or whatever happened. So yeah, using this method, it simplifies all your life. Also, in the slot, you can get access not only to the store item itself, but also you can check if this slot is available. It might not be available because of the cooldown, for example. If you are giving free items every 1 hour, let's say, so it will be available for purchase, but after you purchase it, get it for free, you will be locked for 1 hour, basically. And if it's not available, you can check how many seconds left until available. You can check when it will be available and display this timer in the UI if you want. You can also check if this purchase has limits. For example, pretty often developers limit some purchases because they're very valuable for 2 times a week, let's say. You can check if it has limit, and then you can display this limit. You can also display how many purchases already been done and how many purchases I can do, and so on. And here in the type, I guess, yeah, we store the badges, actually. There was a question about the badges. So here in the type, I can check if it's like a best, if it's new, free, great, limited, once, popular, and so on. Now let me show you how you can add your custom data if you want. So let's say you just need to open data structure. You see, I have made custom store page template and inherited from store page. You can easily do the same by creating a new template, but let me open this one. So as it was inherited from store page, I have the same parameters as store page has, but also I have added UI data and my custom parameter, just to show you how everything works. And I also did the same for the slot. So here is our default slot. I made my custom slot. I also added UI data. And actually you were able to see UI data here. It's attached to each of the slots. So let me show you how you can get access to that data from here. So usually developers do switch page, and now they need to check it's called custom store page. Let's do like this. And now in custom store page, I can get access to my custom parameter, which you saw, and I can get access to the UI data, which I also showed you just now. And now you can do something about that data. For example, you can apply it to the UI prefab which you're using. And don't forget to work on the default case as well. And the same actually with slots. You can do the same switch, but very often developers just make one template which they use all the time. So there will be enough to do check like this is my custom slot, my slot. And now I can get access to UI data, which I showed you before. And I think, yeah, this is only one parameter I have added. And in UI data, you can see all the parameters which Michael was showing you. It has an asset, which is a prefab, which you can access like this. And then there is a badge, background, which is sprite name, sprite for the button, and so on. Let me show you how UI data looks like here. So UI data, it's an additional structure which was created for the demonstration purposes. You can customize it in any way you want, and you can actually rebuild it from scratch if you want. So here you put the name, it's just for your convenience. You can set up the asset which is going to be used. I'll show you a couple examples of assets in a minute. And then using this asset, you can override its background, you can override its button color, you can add some additional badge. And here in the content holder, you could specify how the content will be placed. Are you going to use like a single icon, or maybe you're going to use small icons? maybe they should be placed in a row or in the column, whatever you want. You display those rules, describe those rules here. If you switch to Unity, you can find the slots which I have created in the demo project. So let me open the big slot, for example. This is a template prefab, which is used to fulfill our data here. You can see that the badge is here, the name is here, the button is already here, and it has a slot view component. And if you check all the other prefabs which we have here, they have different visuals, mostly in terms of forms and the amount of content they have. But what is common between all of them is that they all have the same component, slot view. And the slot view has links to all the components which can be changed remotely from Balancy. So let's say I have access to the button, I have access to the background here, and the reward sometimes, not in this case, but in the big slot, I have access to the reward content because the reward could be changed. Let me briefly show you how this class is structured. So let's say I have a slot name, for example. What I do, it's a text, Unity text. So I can just take from the store item the parameter name, which is localized string, and value, it's actually already localized value, and just assign to that slot name. And the same I can do with badge. I have a badge component. It's slightly a bit more complicated because it has a text and it has an image. So for this badge, I just take from the UI store item, it's UI data, which I showed you before. If there is a badge, I just take that badge from the UI store item and set it using this simple method. And each of the store item and slot parameters should be mapped to the prefab like this. So when you decide to sell something in the shop, usually your first choice is to define which asset you're going to use, because you might prepare several different assets for different purposes. And then you can override it with all those small details such as background, button, and of course, the main goal is to put a store item with all its content, which should be unique for each of the projects. I think I covered everything what I wanted.
Pavel, may I interrupt you? The question from Given was how could we add 2 badges at the same time, or 3 badges at the same time? For example, new, limited, and like popular.
Okay, hold on, let me show you. Let me do the content. Thank you for reminding about that. So as I mentioned before, I have this slot. It's a custom slot. So let's open my structure, my custom slot. So I have UI data only. And now I can make my badge. For example, I'll choose enum. I think it's called slot type.
Yes.
Yes. So by default, let's put it like once. Create. So when you go back to the shop, you will see that this new parameter appeared for each of the store slots. Now I can change it. So for this one, I put new, let's say. So besides of this free badge, I also have once badge. And I can add not only badges, I can add whatever parameters I want to add, actually, in a very easy way. And let me show you what should you do in the code. So now you just need to click on this generate code button. Now you go back to the code, and in the slot, let me uncomment this one. So my badge is now available here. And that will happen with any parameters you want, any structure you want. You can easily change it remotely in Balancy, and we will inject it in the code, so your programmers don't need to worry about delivering this data to the game. They just need to do very simple integration, just access all our data, pick prefab, instantiate the prefab, and fulfill the prefab with the data which we transferred, and that's it. And once they do this, your full control of the shop starts from here. You don't need to ask your programmers to help you anymore.
So I think Gwen will be happy. The question was answered like in 2 minutes and everything is complete.
Awesome. So we are actually very precise with the time. Congratulations, guys. It's 5 p.m. Madrid time. So thank you, everyone, for being with us and being so active. If there are any other questions, you can always drop us a message in social media. We're very open to chatting. And thank you, guys. Thank you, Pavel. Thank you, Mike, for amazing presentations, for sharing your theoretical and practical knowledge. And I have a little teaser for everyone. Just mentioning the new project we are working on, we are planning to write the whole book on the game shop. So it's such an important and such a big subject that one webinar feels just not enough to capture everything. That is why we decided to write a big book to cover everything, all the theory, and also demonstrate how to implement it with Balancy. So yeah, thanks everyone, and we can finish the stream. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.